So I'll go over it again for 9.3. These lines, okay, the 7 and the 2, so the 1s equal 9. If you add up the tens column, so the 2 is actually 20, the 1 is actually 10, 20 plus 1 is 30. Same thing if you did the algorithm, 39. Okay, so if you have a decimal fraction, 3 and 25/100ths, if you were to split this up into place values, how many ones do we have? Brecken?
3.
3. We have 3 ones. You can either do 3 just like this, remember, or you can do 3 like this to keep it all the same. That way we have 3 places every time. Okay. How many tenths do we have? So it's our 10th. 2 tenths. Very good. So you can put that, or you could put 0 and 2 tenths, which is also equal to that right there. So if you want it to have 3 digits each one, so you can line it up, that's fine. And then what is in the hundredths column? What do we have, Anna J?
5.
5 what? 5 hundredths. Very good. And if you want to have the 0 in front, you can. Okay, so that's just saying that 3 plus 2 tenths, or 0 and 20 hundredths, plus 5 hundredths, all equals, so 3 and 25 hundredths. So when we're adding, you can do it with the algorithm, or you can break the parts apart into place values. Oh. I'm supposed to rip that one all the way off. There we go. Okay, so somebody read me this equation right here. Remember, it's an equation because it has an equal sign. It doesn't just have this. This would be a what? If it didn't have an equal sign, what would it be called? A what? Claire? Starts with an E. If it doesn't have an equal sign, what is it called? Not an equation, but a what? An X. Trey?
An improper?
No, good try. Javier? Closer. Expression. Expression, remember. But it has an equal sign, so it's an equation. So for this, if we want to add them, you can break it apart. Okay, so how many? So let's look at the tenths first. Okay, so we have 3 tenths and how many tenths? 2 tenths. So 3 tenths plus 24 hundredths. But how many tenths do we have? 3 tenths and 2 tenths, which is how many tenths?
5 tenths.
And then we have what? 4 what?
Hundredths.
So 5 tenths plus 4 hundredths is what?
54 hundredths.
54 hundredths. Okay. The other way to do it would be to line it up by the decimal point. This would be using the algorithm. So 3 tenths, and then line up the decimals. So in the regular algorithm, you know, you line it up by the 1s and the 10s and over. On here, you line it up by the decimal point. Okay, that way it all stays the same. So if you want to put a 0 right here to line it up better, you can. So if you're adding it, 0 plus 4 is?
4.
3 plus 2 is?
5.
And then bring down that decimal point. Okay? Okay, let's do this one now.
Is that a glass one? No.
Write that down. Okay, so let's start by doing the hundredths first. If we have 8 plus 4, but it's really 8 hundredths plus 4 hundredths, what does that equal?
12.
8 plus 4 is 12. So it would actually be now 12 hundredths, right? Because 8 plus 4, but it's 8 hundredths plus 4 hundredths is 12 hundredths. And then we have 8 tenths plus 2 tenths.
10 hundredths. 10 tenths?
We have
100. 100. 100. 10.
if we have 8 tenths and 2 tenths. So think about this in money. Say it again. 1. Think about it. Think about it in change. If you have 80 cents and you have 20 cents, how much money do you have? $1, which is 100 cents. Very good. Okay, so now it would be 1 whole. So 1 and 12 hundredths. Better way to show that right there. So let me show you in the algorithm that helps. Let me draw a line so we don't plus. Remember, we line up the decimals. 8 plus 4 is 12. So put the 2 down, 1 up. 8 plus 2 is 10. Plus 1 is 1 down, nothing up here, 1 up. And then we just bring down our decimal. 1 and 12 hundredths. Okay. Do you want to do another one like this? Was that a little confusing?
Yes.
Okay.
Another one. A lot of confusing.
Okay.
Where do we do that one?
Just on the side. I just have it already written on here, so that's why I can't rewrite it. Write it to the side or on the page behind it. Okay. 74 hundredths plus 37 hundredths. You can do it both ways. I'll give you a minute, and then we're going to go over it. Okay. So let's look at first the hundredths. So 4 hundredths plus 7 hundredths is what? 11 hundredths. Then 3 tenths plus 7 tenths would be what? 1 whole. Okay, very good. So it would be 1 and 11 hundredths. Okay, so let's show it in the algorithm. 74 hundredths, 37 hundredths. 4 plus 7 is 11. 7 plus 3 is
11.
plus 1 is
11.
Bring the 1 down. Bring the decimal point. Okay, there you go. Okay, now if we're adding fractions, not decimal fractions, but fractions, why can't we add this just right now and say 21 tenths or 21 hundredths? Hold on, I want more hands. I'm waiting. I want to see. So write 1 tenth plus 20 hundredths. Write that down. Why can't I just start adding? What's wrong? Sophia? That is bigger than the 1, but let's look at the denominator. Sophia, what's wrong with those? They don't what? They aren't the what? The same. They need to be the same, right? So I need the 10 to become 100 or the 100 to become a 10, either one. How do I do that? Very good. And the reason that works is, and you can do it two ways. So you can either take off this 0 and this 0. So now it's 2/10 because if you have a 0 up top and a 0 on bottom, you can do that. But the reason that works is because that's like dividing by 10. Because if you divide by 10 up top and bottom, then it becomes 2/10. Or you could also say, I want this one to become bigger. You can say times 10 and times 10, and this would become 10 hundredths. And then you could have 20 right there. So you can either have it be, no, I rewrote it. Sorry, I should have done that both one. So you can either have it be 10 hundredths plus 20 hundredths, or you can have it be 1/10 plus 2/10. Either one. You can either add a 0 to the top and bottom, or take off a 0 from the top and bottom. But either way, the denominators need to be the same. So there's two possible answers. If I was doing it in tenths, what's our answer?
It would be 3.
3 what? 3/10. If I was doing it in hundredths, it would be what? Everybody.
100.
1.
30 hundredths.
30.
Oh, yeah, you're
Which is the same thing as 3/10.
Oh.
Okay? Either one. So let's do this one. 7/10 plus 30 hundredths. 7/10 plus 3 hundredths. Last one, and then get out our book.
Yes.
You can do it two ways, but either way, the denominators must match. So you do it. I'm going to give about 30 seconds. About 30 seconds. Okay. Raise your hand if you did the takeaway zeros like Claire said, which is basically dividing by 10. Israel? Okay, so what did you do to the 30 hundredths?
I basically just take away the 0,
Like that? Do I take away this 0?
No.
No. In order to take away this 0, there'd have to be another 0 up here, but there's not. If there's 1 up top, you can take away 1 up bottom. They have to be equal. If you take away 1 pen from one friend, you have to take it away from the other to be fair. Okay? If I take away snack from one person, I'm going to take it away from another person to be fair. Okay? Top and bottom. So now it's tenths, and it's 7 plus 3 is?
1 whole.
Hold on. You're a step ahead. What's 7 plus 3 first?
10.
10. And Brecken, what does that equal as well? It's equivalent to 1 whole. Very good. Now, we could have also turned 7/10 into what? Raise your hand if you did the adding zeros one method. Lexi, talk me through that one.
I changed 7 to 70.
Okay, and is that the only thing I changed?
No, I changed 10 to 100.
Good. If you give to the top, you give to the bottom. If I give a snack to one person, I'm going to give it to the other person as well. Okay? So now it's hundredths.
So to be fair to each other.
70 plus 30 is? 100, which is also equal to?
1 whole.
1 whole. Very good.
So